at Tanga Kajaramogi, just to allow family members, high-ranking government officials, and those invited to attend the ceremony, the private ceremony that will be happening there. That is the ceremony of interring the remains of the former Prime Minister Raila Amolo Odinga. That has always been the case, even when his son Fidel Macarius Odinga died. It was just a ceremony of a select few who were allowed into that home, and that is mainly because of the space that is actually available there. Just take you through some of the things that have actually been talked about by the leaders who stood and spoke about the former Prime Minister, talking about the political class, of course, describing him as a mentor par excellence, a teacher who taught most of them how to do politics, how to navigate through the murky field that is Kenya's politics, how to ensure that indeed they remained afloat. One of the key elements that have actually been brought to the fore has been that of the former ODM Deputy Party Leader Wycliffe Ambetsa Oparanya was pointed out clearly that indeed one of the messages that the former Prime Minister Raila Amolo Odinga told him was that never sever bridges, never burn bridges, and also there are no permanent enemies in politics, there are no permanent friends in politics. A mantra that the former Prime Minister lived by himself, and of course ensured that even in difficult situations, times when people thought that they will never talk to this politician or the other politician, he always had that opportunity of or that skill of mending fences and finding a common ground in terms of ensuring that indeed this country moves forward. The president, of course, moving the crowd with revelation of finer details of exactly what happened in the last 3 months. The president saying that he was concerned about the former premier's health, and he indeed asked the premier to seek the best available medical attention. And of course, there were a number of options, and eventually he decided that he's gonna go to India for treatment. He says, of course, in his wisdom and of course the powers bestowed upon him, he said that the government, he assured the family of the former premier that indeed the government will take care of any cost that are actually needed in terms of ensuring that the former premier is taken care of. And indeed he says he was abreast on almost on a daily basis of exactly what was happening in India and the treatment that indeed the former premier was undergoing. He also says that he also recounts on the day, of the fateful day when we lost the former premier. He says he received a call from Oburu Odinga, the elder brother to Raila Amolo Odinga, and then shortly after he received a call again from Oburu Odinga, and then he tried calling Raila Odinga's daughter Winnie, who has been by the father's side for quite some time, and then shortly after Winnie called back. Shortly after, of course, it was very clear or evident that indeed we had lost the former premier. President William Ruto, of course, also revealing finer details of the last moment engagement with the former premier in terms of just what he wanted for this country. He says the former premier, again in his true element, was worried about this country's position as a third world country, and one of the resolve they had actually made together with the president and the former president Uhuru Kenyatta was to find ways of ensuring that they moved this country from third world state to a better position. And he says part of the issues they had actually discussed on was infrastructure development and general development of the country. And he says that the former premier had actually sought the services of a former of a renowned professor, Japanese professor, who was to come and find a solution in terms of giving a structured steps of how the leaders and of course the government would actually find ways of ensuring that indeed this government, this country moved from its current state to a better state.